Hello folks and welcome to this week's Music Alerts. Now, last week I offered you a rather scrummy roast vinyl special. Well, this week we're barbecuing CDs. Well, it's the weather for us, isn't it? And let's begin with the UK outfit Jasmine and a couple of CDs from them, beginning with Jazz and Charles Mingus. Mingus Fingers shows the great man as a side man alongside the likes of Howard McGee, Ernie Andrews, Dinah Washington, Lionel Hampton, Oscar Pettiford, Charlie Parker, Quincy Jones, Duke Ellington, and many, many more. Now, all of these tracks derive from rather rare and collectible 78s. So, knock yourself out. Next is Connie Francis. It's a bit of a strange one. This is the Continental EP collection, focusing on EPs issued in France, Spain, West Germany, Italy, Sweden, and Denmark between 1958 to 62. Now, Frances, well, she wasn't afraid to record for international markets, and she would sing in the appropriate language. So there's only a few English tracks sung here. Now, possibly because of this, she had massive hits in Germany, and she did very well in Italy. She was a switched-on cookie. Next, well, 2 weeks ago, I offered you a CD presentation of the works of Paul Williams, and that was via a UK label called Ace. Last week, I presented 2 vinyl albums from Universal of the works of Paul Williams. Well, folks, this is apparently Planet Paul Williams, and we only live here because Universal has now released 7 individual CDs based on, you guessed it, the works of Paul Williams. If I see more releases from this guy next week, I will scream, although knowing Paul Williams, he'll probably add some articulate lyrics to it and push that out on 180-gram vinyl. So, what do we have then? Well, all are presented in Digipack gatefolds, and we have, and here's the list folks, just an old-fashioned love song, the vinyl version of which I featured last month, featuring the title track hit. Also, We've Only Just Begun. This is from 1971. Next, 1972's Life Goes On features the later Carpenters hit, I Won't Last a Day Without You. Next, A Little Bit of Love from 1974. And Here Comes Inspiration, also from 1974. The latter includes another Carpenters hit, Rainy Days and Mondays, plus the likes of Driftwood and You and Me Against the World. Phantom of the Paradise is also from 1974, and well, Paul Williams was a busy boy in 1974 apparently. This is a soundtrack to a Brian De Palma film. Ordinary Fool from 1975 includes the title track. Now, the title track was also a track on the Bugsy Malone soundtrack. And on a quick tangent, Williams would pen all of the songs from the Bugsy Malone film. And you may know a few of them, I certainly do. And maybe we'll see a release of that soundtrack a bit later on, hey. Oh, and you also get a CD version of the best of Paul Williams, which once more I featured in vinyl form last week. Lots of fine songs on this one, including Rainy Days and Mondays, I Won't Last a Day Without You, We've Only Just Begun, and many more. Speaking of previous videos then, last week I showed you the new Rifles album called Love Your Neighbor, again on vinyl. Well, there is now this CD version of the same, and here it is in all of its gatefold Digipack splendor. And while we're talking about different versions of the same thing, check out the Bulgarian guitarist and violin player Nikolo Kotsev and the rock opera, his very own, called Nostradamus. Now, maybe it's because Kotsev is both a classical composer and a rock composer, but this ambitious production brings in straight rock, prog metal, and classical overtones, plus an extended cast including Alana Miles, Sass Jordan, Deep Purple man Glenn Hughes, and Rainbow Chappie Joe Lynn Turner. This release arrives as a 2-CD set in a dual case, but you can go one further because there is also another version of the same thing, a multi-gatefold 3-disc set. This is limited and it includes a DVD, so you can see the choir, You can see the ballet. Oh yes, there is a ballet, folks. In fact, you can see the whole glorious ensemble. Now we've just touched on box sets, so let's stay with those, shall we? We're going to the label Robin Songs now, and their release of BT Expresses, the definitive collection, spread over 4 CDs plus bonus tracks, and set within a clamshell case. You can expect funky disco vibes from this Brooklyn combo. The albums included here include Do It Till You're Satisfied, Non-Stop, Energy to Burn, Function at the Junction, Shout, Shout It Out, 1980, and Keep It Up. The booklet includes track credit lists, plus 5 pages of notes from journalist Lois Wilson. Another box, this time from Esoteric and the prog band Renaissance, called Tuscany. This is a 3 CD package set in a clamshell box focusing on the 2001 album, and includes something called In the Land of the Rising Sun, live in Japan 2001. This live album is spread over 2 CDs. The album itself featured a reunion of the band featuring Annie Haslam, Michael Dunford and Terence Sullivan, with guests John Tout, Mickey Simmons, and of all people, Roy Wood. This is a great value set for fans. Finally, and one more box set, and it is a beauty from Repertoire, devoted to the Yardbirds. It's called The Ultimate Live at the BBC. Presented in a very sturdy slipcase, you get 2 dual-cased CDs, each holding 2 CDs, so 4 in all, with a grand total of 3 booklets. The most substantial booklet spans 63 pages and includes details of each session, along with plenty of photographs. Each dual case also includes a booklet of its own. One details a kind of a brief track list, and the other includes interviews with Jim McCarthy and Paul Samuel Smith. And it's a corker. Anyway, that's your lot. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. Before you go, just down there, could you click on the like and subscribe buttons, please? Helps the old channel and all that jazz. Further down in the description, you'll find a link to my website. There's all kinds of other music stuff over there. There's a link to my Facebook group as well, which you're welcome to join. And there is my Patreon page, which has all kinds of other music-related features and videos and whatnot. You're very welcome to check that out. There's hi-fi stuff over there too, if you're into that. Anyway, I'll be back this time next week, and I hope to have your company, folks. Until then, bye-bye for now.